We continue our quiz, and the next question uses the function group by. So the question is, what is printed here? So let's look at the example step by step and understand what's going on here. When we group elements by its age, the group by returns a map from ages to from the age to a list of elements with this age, a list of heroes with this age. Then later, when we use max by, we can call max by on a map and find and analyze entries, finding the entry with the maximum value of providing key, in this case group size. So here the maximum group size would be 2 elements here in this for the age 29. So this max by function will return 29 as the age and this list, the highlighted list, as the corresponding group, and when we print age is just 29. The next question uses the function associate by. So here we just we group the elements again. We group the elements by name. This time we use associate by function. So we use unique key, and the resulting map is the map from the name to the hero object. And in this case, we access the element by the name Frenchy. We get his age and is 42. The thing I want to highlight here is the different ways to access elements in a map. We can either use square brackets to access elements or map get value function. And the first way, the square brackets return as null as a result. So here you see that to access age later, we use safe access operator. And the get value function will throw no such element exception if there is no such element. So we don't use safe access, but we see here that the exception will be thrown. The next question, which illustrates the function get or else. So what is the result of the last expression? Here, the get or else function will return us the value corresponding to the given key if the value is present, if the key is present in the map and there is the corresponding value. Otherwise, it will compute the providing lambda and return the result of this lambda. It's a very useful function because if the element is present in the map, then nothing will be computed. So the default lambda will be the default value in lambda will be calculated only if needed. And in this case, if needed, so return this unknown hero and its age is 0. So 0 is the result. The next question is much less straightforward than the previous ones, and it kind of illustrates how the code shouldn't be written with lambdas. So it's an example of a bad code, and you can spend some time trying to understand what's going on here and to guess the answer. If it's too long, just watch the result. We'll discuss in detail what's going on here and why it is not such a good example of the code. So let's do it slowly and let's slowly notice what are the problems here. At first, we use it in the 2 neighboring lines, but it in the first line has different type from the second line. So here we have the similar name because of this. We have this syntactic convention that you can replace one argument with it. But these arguments in these 2 different lines have 2 different types, and that is really confusing. Just don't write code like this. So to fix this, let's replace the first it with explicit parameter. And then let's try to understand what's going on here. So we call flat map on the heroes, And at first, we map each hero. So the first comes is assigned to each hero in turn, and we map each hero to all the list of heroes. So here we can replace this to second. So we have these pairs of first to second, and then we flat map the result. And this whole expression, what it does is it constructs the list of all possible pairs. So first, we first get the first element, which might be each element in the heroes list. Then the second might be also each element in the heroes list, and then we make up all the possible combinations. So now we can extract variable and give it explicit name, all possible pairs. Now it's easier to understand what's going on here. It's better. Now let's continue and look at the next line. So here we then use max by on these all possible pairs and find maximum from a difference of ages. So basically what's going on here, we find this first and second are just oldest and youngest, because the maximum difference in ages will give us the maximum and the minimum values. The maximum and the minimum ages. So this whole piece of code might be just replaced with finding the oldest and the youngest. And the result would be the result that is printed is the captain. But the main point of this code is not just make you think, but make you remember this example of badly written code, so that you can, in the future, avoid it and write your code in a way that it was easy and easy to read and understand. So to sum up what we saw in this last example, what are some advice of what should be done, how to improve readability. At first, we have this problem with it variable, so try to not use it if it has different types of neighboring lines. In essence, it is good if the lambda is very trivial and straightforward, but if it is going to be more complicated, for instance, in multi-line lambdas, it's often better to use explicit parameters. And in any case, when any confusion is possible, it's better to use explicit parameter names so that the code were easier to understand. And the last thing is it's a good idea to learn the library, to know the library, and not try to implement all the methods. And it's often possible to find the function that will do the job for you. So just learn the library. Congratulations! You've practiced your understanding of the common operations for working with collections in a functional style. To learn more, you can read the documentation or just go through the completion list to see what other operations are available. Next, we are going to discuss the type of the lambda expression.